The most common refrain investors have is that they didn't start sooner. So naturally, many investors who have kids with decades to allow compounding interest to grow and grow are interested in learning how they can set up Roth IRA accounts to get their kids an early jump in retirement saving. And truthfully, it's not a bad idea. If you've ever seen a chart that illustrates the effects of compounding interest, you know that it kind of has this hockey stick or exponential growth, where the last few years see the most significant growth in the account. In fact, if you were able to save just $1,000 for a child at birth, it would be over $150,000 by the time they turn 65 with just an 8% rate of return. If you invested up to the annual contribution amount of $7,000, it would be worth just over $1 million by the time they turn 65. And that's with no additional contributions. Granted, 65 years is a long time to wait for a payoff, but that's $1 million that only 0.7% was actual money that you had to put in the account. And the best part, if this was in a Roth IRA, it would be completely tax-free. Not only that, but the income tax rate for a baby, a child, is bound to be very low, which means the contribution will be made probably at the lowest income tax bracket they'll ever see. Now, having said all that, it's not as easy as just calling your brokerage and setting up a Roth IRA for your kids. Let's walk through 3 things to remember if you want to set up a Roth IRA for your kids, as well as some potential benefits for doing so. All right, first off, your kids have to have earned income. One great feature of IRAs is that you can make contributions at any age. It doesn't matter if you're 100 minutes old or 100 years old. Your age alone does not disqualify you from making a contribution to an IRA. However, the one thing you must have at any age to make a contribution to an IRA is earned income. The good news is this is the one and only qualifier for making IRA contributions. The bad news is most kids don't have earned income. Not only that, child labor laws make it kind of difficult for them to find a job, right? So unless they have a gig as the next Gerber baby or really hit a lick cutting lawns and babysitting, it's going to be difficult to make a contribution to an IRA on their behalf. Now, the older they get, the easier it will be to find earned income. But try not to give in to any temptation to create income out of thin air. Specifically, I'm thinking about business owners who create jobs for their kids and then pay them exorbitant salaries for jobs they don't actually do. Now, a child can be employed and compensated for the services they provide, but the compensation must be reasonable and in line with market price for labor in the area you live in. So no, you can't pay your kid $100 an hour to sweep the floor unless you can illustrate that it would cost you that much to hire that service somewhere else. In other words, don't try to game the system here. No doubt, it would be valuable to get money into a Roth IRA for your kids, but it's not worth getting in trouble with the IRS. All right, second thing to remember is the kids can't contribute more than their modified adjusted gross income. Once your kid has gainful employment, it may be tempting to help them out by contributing some to the Roth on their behalf. It's really a great way to incentivize them to save. However, their IRA cannot be funded more than their modified adjusted gross income for the year. In other words, they can't put more into the account than they actually earned. You also need to keep in mind that in 2024, contributions to IRAs are limited to $7,000 for those who are under 50 years old. So if your kid is a super high earner, they're going to have to stop contributing at that point. Third thing to remember is that once they reach age 18, it's theirs. So as a parent, you can set up a custodial Roth IRA on your kid's behalf. That basically means that you'll manage, watch over the account until they're at the age of majority, at which point they take full control and ownership over the account. So that means if your kid turns 18 years old and they want to withdraw every penny from the account, pay the early withdrawal penalties, and then go buy a car, they can do that. But it also means they potentially have an amazing head start on saving for retirement. Hopefully your kid is trustworthy with his money, but that's just something to keep in mind. Next, we want to talk about some of the benefits of custodial Roth IRAs. There are a few things that make them potentially beneficial for young people. The first we've already covered is years of growth. We have a video about compounding interest, which we'll link. But basically, it's difficult to overstate how beneficial time is for any investment. Compounding interest is a fundamental key to anyone's investing or wealth building success, but it's even more valuable for young people. If you think about a normal portfolio of stocks and bonds, it shouldn't have any difficulty doubling at least once a decade. And if you think about the amount of time between teenage years and retirement years, there's potentially 5 decades there for their account to grow. You know, they say time is money, and kids have more of it than any of us. The second feature is the availability of contributions. I don't really enjoy pointing this feature out because once you remove Roth contributions, they can never be put back. But I also remember what it was like coming through college and buying a house, buying a car, getting started in life, having a negative net worth, and needing cash anywhere I could find it. Obviously, I would always recommend trying to avoid tapping the Roth account, but contributions are available for withdrawal, penalty and tax-free if you needed them. Additionally, up to $10,000 of your Roth IRA can be used for a first-time home purchase. That's tax and penalty-free. Roth earnings can also be used to pay for tuition, but income tax will be owed on those distributions. The final benefit is assured tax optimization. And what I'm talking about is the Roth versus traditional IRA debate that so many people get into. The difficulty is knowing what you'll be taxed when. Should you go with traditional and take a deduction now and pay taxes when you make withdrawals, or should you go with Roth, forego the deduction now, but have tax-free earnings down the road? Well, if you're a teenager, it's a no-brainer. You're in the lowest tax brackets you'll ever be in. Make Roth contributions. And like we've already said, the beauty is Roth contributions grow forever completely tax-free. It's a huge win for young people. So custodial Roths are a no-brainer if your kid has income and the ability to contribute to one. There aren't many places to get tax-free growth anyway, but to do so at a point in life where your income taxes are so low is just really beneficial. Not all brokerages offer custodial Roth accounts, but most do. To set one up, you just need their social security number, birth date, and about 20 minutes online. You also want to pay attention to any fees that are associated with the account. Those can really have an impact over time. In many cases, you'll be able to set up the account for free, but there are exceptions, so watch out for that. If you found this video beneficial, please take a second to click the like and subscribe buttons below. It really helps our channel to grow. We have a lot more information on our website and YouTube channel about IRAs, tax advantage savings, you name it, personal finance, we got it. Thank you again for your time. God bless and take care.